G'day folks. Had a great day down there on Sunday, a couple of days ago. The car performed incredible. It's just incredible, it is. You know, I get blown away with it now. I just can't believe how well it goes, like it pulls, how well it stops, handles. The whole car feels balanced. We've got a really incredible front to rear weight ratio. I think it's 56-44%, so very close, very close. The car would tip the scales now. I think I've pulled out about 9 or 10 kilo, and I think from memory last time it was about 1350, I think, from memory. So we're under 3,000 pounds. And it's not bad for this is a full-sized car for an Australian car. Basically a full size. These are 1,420 kilo factory. So considering what I've done to the car, 9-inch diff, I mean, I've added a fair bit of weight. We've got roll cage, turbo. We have a lot of stuff going on, but we've managed to lose a lot of weight out of it. You know, about 80 kilo, and turn it into a reasonable little machine. I mean, it's no featherweight, but it's not a heavy car either. And there's a great front to rear balance of the car. And even on all four corners, there's only, look, now I think last time I checked it was only 20 kilo or something. It's 20 kilo heavier, but it could be less because I've pulled out, like I said, I've pulled out all the brake booster and all the pedal assembly underneath. And I've pulled that power steering pump off, so I'll have to reweigh it. But guys, I'm just so happy. The brakes are incredible. I'm still learning my confidence on them. Because they're a manual brake, you've got to push reasonably well, not too crazy, but you've got to push on them. But look, it feels incredible though. You know, I could, halfway coming in, I could lock the brakes up quite easy if I wanted to. But it's just feeling them out, bedding them in, making sure everything's working. And it is. I'm braking. It mightn't see it on that video, but I am actually braking harder, deeper. I get on the brakes about the same time, but I'm not coming on as hard with the brakes until the last little minute. So that's like a confidence thing. There's no doubt I could leave my braking for probably, well into under the 200 metre mark. Because a lot of the time now I'm braking on the other side of 200 metres. It's amazing. So we've got 10 pounds of boost. I did have an issue though with this coupler here. It kept popping off. These joins of this 45 bend was being cut down. It actually should be a little bit longer when I had it rear mounted. So I'm going to actually order two more new ones, and that'll get me up sort of up here. So we've got, when you push on it there, it's only about there. It's hardly anything. It's hardly anything. And what happens is the motor wants to flex, so it's just pulling it away. There's not enough flex there in those couplers. So the them ones there, look at those, they're beautiful. I'll get a couple more of those. Just so we've got a nice amount of flex there it falls away when when that comes off. This little motor, it really doesn't put much power out at all. It needs that turbo, guys. It really needs a bit of boost. Yeah, Oh, geez, it's addictive. It's addictive. You see how quickly I get out of the corners and get into top gear. Like, we're only around 4,000 revs, 3.5, 4,000 revs. And it's just stomps, the torque. It just pushes this car just effortlessly. It's incredible. And I'm not even full throttle. 99% of the time, I don't even honestly feel I sort of baby this car for some reason. It's just my inner intuition tells me not to go stupid in it, not to give it too hard of a time. But it's just so brutal. It really is. Look after it. That's my goal. I just want to be a smooth, fast driver, and that's just going to take time. It's going to take time. I'm doing a gear change. That's my next job. So I'll be doing little vids on that. I'm going to have a crack at it myself. It's got 3:7 ratio in it now, it tops out about 200 around the sweeper at about 6,000-ish. It's not quite quick enough around there. I want to be able to at least get up to 220. I've got a 3.5 ratio gear set to go in it, so hopefully that'll just give me that little bit extra. I thought about going a little bit taller in the gearing, but we've only got 2 small tracks here, so even if I've got to sacrifice a little bit of top end for the sake of a little bit of time, well, so be it. Because I know that Basketville doesn't really need the big tall gearing down there, but I think this will be, look, just from my gut feeling, I think it'll be just enough to get me across the line. And I've got to remember too, guys, that I'm actually going to that's my sort of next upgrade, probably early mid next year. I'm going to a 265. These are a 255 on a 10-inch rim, and I'm going to go to a 265 just for the rear, and I'll have a spare set for the front then. The front's beautiful, no issues there, no understeer whatsoever, no locking up front wheels. Does get a little bit loose in the back when you step on it. These are just struggling a little bit, so I'm going to step it up. Same brand, Hankook, but they've got, instead of having that line on them, they've got just 2 single lines. So we've got a little bit more slick, I suppose, but still a treaded tyre, not really designed for the wet, but more so for dry weather, and that's all I'm really interested in, guys. I wouldn't go out in the rain. If the track's a little damp, I don't mind, but as long as it's not raining. But that'll offer a little bit more grip and they'll be a little bit taller too. Not by much, but just a tiny little bit. So that'll help there. And I think it'll be enough gearing just to suit this Simmons perfectly, and to ensure that I can. My goal is to get under 60 seconds. So I'm thinking with the gear change, and if these brakes start to fade, which I haven't found yet, but if they start to struggle, I want to put a different caliper on the front. I did have a look actually. Oh, they were expensive. A set of Harrops, second-hand ones, but they were 6-piston, and they were quite a little bit longer than this. Well, really nice sort of tight arc on them. Something in that sort of realm, but they were expensive. $2,700 just for a set of 6-piston calipers. But I'll keep looking, and we'll see. But these at the minute, I'm really happy with them. I've got plenty of braking force. I just need to build my confidence up with them. But I think these will get me definitely down to a low 60. There's no doubt about it, because I'm really leaning on the back brakes too, guys. I've got it dialed in fairly well, halfway on the balance bar, and it feels incredible, this thing, when you're pulling up. It feels just so good. It doesn't feel like it wants to pull one side, or there's not too much at the front or not enough at the back. It was funny with the drums. I'd have a little bit too much back brake to start with, but then I'd have nothing after a couple of laps, and I'd be having to rely on the front. And that was a horrible thing. Well, now it's consistent. the whole car just wants to pull up lap after lap, and there's no fade. It seems to be the hotter they get, the more bite there is. When they're a bit cool, they don't the first sort of corner, the first hairpin I always know just to come in a little bit ginger. And then after the sweeper, I come in again a little bit ginger. But once I get a lap out of the way, the brakes come to me. They're just incredible. I get so much bite out of them. They're awesome. Can't smell any brakes, so that's a good sign. I used to be able to smell them before, especially the front ones. I could smell it coming into the hairpin when you slow down that little bit, and that's the hardest corner out of the lot of them. And I'd always used to smell the front ones go off. But now I haven't smelled. That's a good sign they're holding up. Fantastic. I love it. Just had a great day down there. No issues, bar that little charge pipe coming off. So I'll fix that and address it. No big deal. I'll just get a couple of longer 45 degree ones. Same as what I got there. Yeah, it popped off. I think because the motor's just kicking over a little bit, gone up in a few pound of boost, but it's right there. I can't and that's tight. There's a bit of preload on that. So any movement that way, it just wants to pull it out. And yeah, it's right there. It just sort of pops off. Awesome. Well, I've got a little surprise, guys. Look, I ended up, a fella by the name of George that follows me. He's a good fella, very smart engine builder. He's the one that helped me through with the carb. Incredible knowledge. Anyway, knew of a fella that had a set of these flat top ACL. Apparently they don't make them anymore. Duralite pistons. And they come with pins and a ring set. 40 thou up, these ones. So that one there's that's my 308 that I'm going into the ute. That's going to be a stock stroke 308. And that's got all the sleeves done on it, re-sleeved. I've done that in other videos, and I'm going to show you in videos coming up, because I'm going to start working on this. But yeah, I got onto these, and thank you, George. These are going to be incredible. These will get me up to around 10.8 compression. You might say it sounds a lot for a boosted application, but remember this one here is 10.5, and it's on E85. We're going up a little bit more with this one, but E85 once again, and we're only low boost, around sort of 7-10 pound, because those heads that I was talking about, guys, that I'm putting on my other motor are similar to these. These are the Dash 3 Yellow Terra, whereas I've got a set of Dave Bennett's, which is the first performance styled alloy head made for these motors. They're an old school set. I'm not sure, maybe early 80s. I'm going to put on this little 308. Well, I got onto them through Blair, another fella that I've got to know quite well. And I've got George fitting valves, springs, getting them all prepped, ready for this this new motor. They're not the other heads, the ones I'm getting. They're not a high port. These are a high port. So that's generally the manifold sits on the block with the the standard heads. Well, they put I think it's 22 mil or 20 mil, 3/4 of an inch. They lift it up, and it just sort of gives a little bit more angle into the combustion chamber. So it's less angle, and just allows for a better design sort of roof, flow around into the chambers. Good heads, great little heads. Love these ones. But these other ones have got a slightly bigger valve in them. They've got a 2.02, but I'm going to run a reasonable stall converter in this little 308. Remember, we've got a nice little bit of compression, So it's going to be a peppy little engine once again out of boost. And then we'll set it all up and it'll be a great thing. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I've got another surprise too, guys. I won't show in this video because I'm looking at it now. It's running up around 15 minutes. But I bought my ute down and I've got it here ready, and the next video will be on that. And we'll have a talk about that and I'll explain what I'm going to do with it. I've decided I'm actually going to go a little bit further with I'm actually going to paint it. I want to sort of prep it all up. I want it neat and tidy. I'd like it really sort of schmicko looking. I don't want a show car, but I want to be able to look at it and say, that's a really nice, clean looking utility. Yeah, so I'll show you that on the next one, because that one's got basically no rust in it, this old ute. And I've had that ute 28 years. So I've had a little while. So it's part of the family. This one would be coming on, I'd have to be nearly 20 years. 19, 20 years ago since I bought this one. So, yeah, it's all good, all good. I'm loving it. All right, folks, well, I'll pop one up in the next few days. I'll sort of try and, well, I keep saying it and I don't, but I'll try and minimum once a week, but I'll see how I go. I've got this week off actually, and if I'll push the ute out and I'll show you, give you guys a bit of a look-see over it. She's a beauty, this one. I'm really looking forward to the build of it too. And I'll show you the progress on that too when I get going on it. So that's going to come out very soon. All right, folks. Well, I'll catch you later.